Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Folge Four Quarter Stories of Football mit einem neuen Gast. Unser heutiger Gast ist Patrick Donahue. Hi Patrick, nice to have you here. Can you please tell the audience something about you? Can you please introduce you to the audience, yourself to the audience? Where you're from? Tell us something about your childhood and how you get in contact first with American football.
Sure. My name's Pat Donahue. My mom is the only one, like my family, like my mom and my family, only ones that call me Patrick. If you call me Patrick, I'm gonna be like, so
Who's Patrick?
yeah. I got first involved with football in 10th grade, and I only played. I never tell people this, but I guess now I've solidified myself, so I can say this. I've only played 2 years of high school football. So for all the youth out there, all the European players that say, "Oh, all the players in the States, they played since they were in 6th grade." I didn't. I didn't play since I was 6 or anything like most people. I probably would have been better, yeah. But yeah, I've only played 10 years. I mean, 2 years in high school, 10th grade and 12th grade. Um, I had my senior year a pretty good year. Um, and I'm really thankful for the friends that I had around me. Like my football friends are like my family now. Like all of us still hang out together. That was sports really brings out the family in a lot of situations where you don't really have a good home life. So when you go to sports, that's your family and that's your time to get away from the stresses of home. Um, but I'm really thankful that I had the experiences I did in the States, and it took me all the way out here to Europe. And because of it, I was able to stay hungry and go after my dreams. And um, I got a shot in the NFL. And when that happened, it was like, okay, like anything you want to do and you put your mind to, you can make it happen. I didn't play for a D1 college. I didn't play for a D2. I didn't play for a D3. I played for an NAIA college, and they give scholarships. And that was really my escape. That was my first experience out of LA lifestyle. And for me, I'm blessed to have had that opportunity to play football over the world.
Cool, thank you very much. Ja, ich wurde am Anfang darauf hingewiesen, dass nur seine Mama ihn Patrick nennt und wie ihn bitte alle Pat nennen sollen. Er hat wie viele andere nicht angefangen, schon als kleiner Junge Football zu spielen, sondern ist erst in der 10. Klasse dazugekommen und hat in der Highschool 2 Jahre lang Football gespielt und ist anschließend auf ein College gegangen, was auch nicht in der höchsten Spielklasse gespielt hat. Aber letztendlich war der Football das, was ihn ja durch die ganze Welt geführt hat und wo er großen Wert darauf legt, ist, dass Football, was wir schon ganz oft gesagt haben, Football is Family. Ja. Dass Football ihm viele Freunde beschert hat und dass der Football oder allgemein der Sport dich mit vielen coolen Leuten in Kontakt bringen kann.
So, Pat, so you're from LA, California. So, how was the high school experience for you? Out in LA, I would say my high school experience was a little bit different because I'm from Southern Georgia, and you guys are, West Coast and East Coast, so it's maybe a big difference. Also from the South. So, what was the high school experience like?
West Coast is the best coast, but we won't go there. But yeah, my experience with high school football on this side is it's run and gun. You know what I mean? We're throwing the ball. It was a really pass oriented league based off speed. Like if you were fast, they wanted you. If you were fast, you were either running the ball or catching the ball. That was one of their things. And in high school, it's unreal, man. Like some of the games here in American football, like we have like between, you can say, 500 and 1,000 fans. That's what we get we get like 2,000 3,000 at 2,000 at a high school playoff game, like 3,000 at a high school playoff game. Like it's nothing. But at the same time, it's American football. In high school, I have to say, for lack of a better word, you just live in the life. Like it's cut.
Yeah, for sure. Go, just start new.
Okay, all right. So West Coast is the best coast for me. That's high school, everything. West Coast is the best coast. If you're fast, you're either running or catching the ball. And that's Cali is known for its speed. Like everybody knows that. And the South is known for its like speed, quickness, and agility over there running and catching rabbits and stuff. Like, so I get that. I wish I was out there running around catching rabbits at a young age. But the experience in Cali, for a serious moment, it's at any moment, anything can happen. From 1 minute we're losing by 21 points in the fourth quarter, and then we come back and beat a team, and next thing you know, there's gunshots going off. Like, and the coach is telling us, no, we're not having an after game meeting. Keep your helmets on, go straight to the bus, don't change. So like I played Muir High School, you know what I mean? That's where Jackie Robinson went to. That's where he went to high school. So that's pretty iconic for me to be able to say I played against that same school. But yeah, like that's pretty much my experience. Like we get a game, 2,000, 3,000 people for the playoffs. And in Germany for playoffs, it's, 1,000, 1,500 maybe, something like that, which isn't bad at all. It's great for the sport in Europe, but we're used to this stuff. The big stage is nothing new to us. So as Americans, when we come over here to play football, we don't get lost in the lights, or we're not supposed to. So that's why I understand when people pick up players from bigger colleges, because they won't get caught up in the lights. But at the same time, if you pick a small school guy, he's going to stay hungry and he's going to get you what you need.
Yeah, definitely.
Ja, thank you so much. Ja, Phil hat danach gefragt, wie so die Highschool-Erfahrung von Pat war. Und er hat gesagt, okay, das Erste, was ich dazu sagen muss, ist West Coast ist Best Coast. Und hat das auch gleich mit der Schule in Verbindung gesetzt und hat so ein bisschen Kalifornien, LA, Kalifornien, wo er herkommt, und den Süden, wo Phil herkommt, aus Georgia, miteinander verglichen. Er hat gesagt, bei uns ist es mehr Speed und im Süden ist es mehr so diese Cut-Ability, wirklich schnelle Cuts zu machen, von hier nach da zu laufen, weil alle in der Jugend Hasen gejagt haben.
We tried to. Yeah.
Und er das nie musste. Was er schon am Anfang gesagt hat, seine Highschool-Zeit mit Football war halt nur 2 Jahre lang, aber da drehte sich alles um Geschwindigkeit, entweder im Laufspiel oder im Passspiel. Und was für ihn nicht neu war diese Größe des Ganzen. Er hat gesagt, es konnte eben alles passieren, um das mal so ein bisschen von dem gerade sehr spaßigen Faktor der Hasenjagd wegzubringen zu einem sehr ernsthaften Thema. Er hat gesagt, in LA konnte halt wirklich alles zu jeder Zeit passieren. Man hat ein Spiel im 4. Quarter gedreht und hat sich super gefreut, und im nächsten Moment hat man irgendwo Schüsse gehört und wusste gar nicht, was los ist, und von den Coaches wurde nur gesagt, okay, ihr macht jetzt gar nichts mehr, ihr behaltet alles an, ihr lasst eure Ausrüstung an und ihr geht einfach nur zum Bus und guckt, dass ihr sicher seid. Das sind so diese 2 Teile, wo wirklich alles passieren kann. Auf der anderen Seite hat er gesagt, es ist riesig, 2.000 bis 3.000 Zuschauer bei einem Highschool-Game. Wir haben das auch schon von anderen Interviewpartnern gehört, wie groß das ist, ja. Was natürlich im Vergleich zu Europa oder auch zu Deutschland sehr, sehr viel ist. Und für ihn ist das auch so ein Grund, was vielleicht viele hier denken, dass man sich jemanden als Spieler holt, der die Erfahrung hat, so im Spotlight zu stehen, wirklich vor vielen Zuschauern zu spielen. Aber er sagte, das ist auch bei kleinen Highschool-Playern genau das Gleiche, weil sie das einfach kennen. Sie sind es gewohnt, da zu spielen.
Yeah, So just to go back in, you touched on your college career. You like I said, most players do not realize out of high school, oh, I got to go to a big college to make the NFL and things like that, or I can't go to a small college or things like that. I was one of those guys. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but like I said, I learned over the years where I could have went to this school or this school and maybe would have did better or something like that, because once you go to these D1 schools, everybody's at your level in high school or even better. And
Yeah.
that was my next question. Basically, how was your tell us a little bit about your college career?
I'm glad you touched on that because um, I was a little bit too ahead of myself. I'm thinking I've done everything on my own, so I'm doing everything on my own. So I didn't know anything about the clearinghouse,
Yeah.
taking the SATs and all that stuff. I took all my standardized testing, passed everything, but I never really followed up on it. What do I need to do? What where do I go from here? It was just like programmed into our heads that it's like middle school, high school, college, get a job. Like that's just what they tell us. They didn't tell us, hey, you can go to a trade school and still play football, or you can go to a trade school for 2 years and then finish and start making big time money. They don't tell you those things. But college wise, I went to a JUCO, and I was glad that I went there because I had a really great receiver coach. And the coach there also toughened me up a lot. I was, I, I'm never going to call myself soft or anything but I needed to be toughened up a lot. Um, so quick little background. Out of high school, I wanted to go to a junior college, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to the military. Then I ended up going to work at PetSmart, and I went from PetSmart and went to a JUCO. But my coach comes into the store. We got to get you out of here, man. We need to get you playing football. Go to college. Like this isn't the life. Like, you know what I mean? So I went to two different JUCOs, and in the JUCO lifestyles, which is junior college for people that don't know, um, you can get lost there because no, you're just another person trying to get through the school system and make your way, and nobody's going to stay on your grades. The coaches, they get new players every week coming from big colleges. Like I had players coming from USC, UCLA to Glendale Community College because they needed to get their grades back up. So they don't really care if you make your grades or can't play. So it's really hard to be your mentor, be your study guide, be your work full time, all that stuff. Being your own psychiatrist, like you can, talking yourself up, like you can do this, one more semester. So I went to junior college, got offers to go to New Mexico State and Washington State, and they wanted me to finish junior college before I went. I couldn't stay there another semester. I didn't want to stay there. If I was going to stay there another semester, I probably wouldn't be here right now. So I decided to take my best offer, and my best offer was to go to Southern Oregon University with Coach Howard. And Coach Howard and his staff are the coaches for Tim Tebow. And he was a very honest guy. He flew me up there to Southern Oregon. And the moment I got there, I didn't realize that nobody cares what color you wear. Nobody cares what you look like as much. You know what I mean? It was just like you tell somebody you're from LA and they're like, they think you come straight from Hollywood. So it was, for me, I tell everybody, my first experience after leaving Southern Oregon, like I looked up there and I could see the stars. Like in LA, there's too many lights to see the stars like that. Like, so I was like, this is where I want to be. After that, I get to Germany and I say, Germany is just a bigger Southern Oregon. That's how I felt. So that's just a small little snippet of that. But junior college, I recommend people go to junior college because it'll be a cheaper option, and it'll teach you how to grow up and be an adult. at a young age. You can't go into a situation, try to be an adult at 17, 18 years old. It's not how it works. You need help. So that's my junior college, university stuff.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, let me translate that really quick. Was a much. Yeah, thanks. I'm out. Okay, cool. Thank you so much. I tried to translate it really quick. It was a lot of talk and much story. Ja, Pat ist nicht den normalen Weg gegangen, den viele andere gegangen sind. Also dieses klassische von der Highschool direkt in ein großes College, wie es auch bei Phil der Weg war, sondern er ist erstmal auf gar kein College gegangen, sondern hat sich dazu entschieden, zum Militär zu gehen. Und nachdem er beim Militär war, hat er in einem kleinen Laden für Tierbedarf oder für, ja, in einem Pet Store gearbeitet, wo sein ehemaliger Coach dann ankam und gesagt hat, du musst mehr machen, du brauchst mehr Education, du brauchst mehr Bildung und du bist ein Footballspieler, mach was draus. Und dann ist er zu einem JUCO gegangen. Wer das nicht kennt, ein JUCO ist ein Junior College. Ja. Ein Community College, da gibt es auch auf einer bekannten Streaming-Plattform eine große Serie drüber, was so Community Colleges angeht, wo viele Spieler versuchen, über ein Community College eine Chance zu bekommen, in ein größeres College zu gehen, um ihre Chancen, ein Spieler in der NFL zu sein, einfach zu erhöhen. In diesem Junior College, wo er war, hat Pat erstmal gelernt, was es so bedeutet, auch so auf seinen eigenen Füßen zu stehen und viel selber zu machen. Er hat viel trainiert, er hat viel gemacht und hat dann Angebote bekommen, zum Beispiel von New Mexico, um dahin zu gehen, hätte aber dafür noch ein Semester bleiben müssen und hat gesagt, das kann ich nicht mehr, ich kann hier nicht noch ein Semester bleiben, das ist alles nicht so meins. Und hat dann eine Möglichkeit genutzt, die ihm geboten wurde, und zwar nach Südoregon zu gehen. Und da sofort zu starten, und das hat er auch gemacht. Und für ihn war als Kind aus LA, der alle diese Lichter kennt, die große Stadt, die großen Anzeigetafeln, war für ihn der erste Eindruck in Südoregon. Er hat die Sterne gesehen. Das war so die erste Nacht, und die ersten Sterne, die sieht man in LA aufgrund der ganzen Lichter nicht. Und das war auch das, was ihn an Deutschland so fasziniert hat. Und er hat gesagt, Deutschland ist einfach eine größere Version von Südoregon. Ja.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hey guys, real quick, while we already messed up.
Yeah.
If I'm going too much on these stories, let me know. I'm trying to cut it short, but you know, it's so enjoyable talking. It's really nice talking to you guys, man. You know?
Ja, das bringt uns zu unserer nächsten Frage. Wir waren gerade in dem College-Thema, was ist passiert? Er ist nach Südoregon gegangen. Pat, please tell us what happened after your college career.
After my college career, I was sitting there thinking we were going to win the national championship, and we didn't. And it was a really tough loss in double overtime. Again, another double overtime loss in Iowa. I hate that place. And yeah, so after that, I was sitting there, what do I do? What's next? And I was thinking, okay, I did enough. I had over 100 catches, over you know, I had 1,400 yards, 1,400 plus yards. Like, so I should be good. I should be good to go. I made some moves. Went to the first version of the national combines for the NFL. So they expanded it. You still had to pay to get there, but it was really good the way they did it. And so I took my trip to Seattle, Washington, and I did that. I did pretty well, not as well as I'd like. I still had the 40-inch vert and the 10-8 broad jump, and you know what I mean? I did all those things pretty well. My 40 was still, it was a 4.4, and I wanted to get down to a 4.3, and I just didn't. So I actually got an invite to the Calgary Stampeders camp up in Florida at the IMG Academy. I took that, and I worked really hard to get there. I thought I was a shoo-in. I was okay. They're bringing me in to replace this other guy, and it didn't work out the way I planned. And next thing you know, I'm just back at school finishing my classes, and I was like, you know what? Nah, not gonna do it. So I went back home. I was like, okay, look, I need to get my head straight, like, because even though colleges love you, and your coaches love you, after you're done playing for them, there's pretty much they need to their focus needs to shift to the next team, right? So they're not really there saying like, hey, what's up? How can I help you with your classes and blah, blah, blah. So I ended up going back home, working, and finished some classes online. So when I did that, I was like just chilling, and one of my coaches was like, hey, like you got so much talent. You jump out the gym. Like, you need to try your best to like get some film before it's too late. You can't sit on the couch and be 2 years out of football, then you're done for real. You're done. You know what I mean? And so I was like, what do I do? And he said, hey, go on Euro Players, make an account, reach out to teams, and try to get out there, get some film. They just want to see you playing, dominate, and come back. After like maybe 2 months of writing teams, a team, the Lubeck Cougars, wrote me and was like, hey, we have 3 other receivers that we're looking at, but pretty much the first person to accept the offer gets the offer. So I said, well, count me in. I'm in. I'm passport ready. Sent in my passport. It was done. I went to Lubeck, and when I went to Lubeck, I was thinking like, okay, dude, every time I woke up, like this is gonna make some people laugh, but when I woke up, I was like, every morning for like the first week, I wake up like, where am I? And then for some reason, every time I heard planes, I'd be like, oh no, they're bombing us. Like, I don't know why. I really don't know why. It's not like, to me, it's just like a panic thing, but I'm over it now. But for the first, like, it was still just weird to be like, oh no, like, so I'm a history major. So like, I'm telling you, it's just one of those things. It's just like, oh no, what is that? So I played in Lubeck. I did some things there, and I broke a record that it's not a bad record. 8 touchdowns in the game. Not bad. And I did some things, top score, and I was hoping that would be enough, and it just wasn't, because it was the second league. And then I got an offer from the Schwäbisch Hall Unicorns, and I took that offer with a heavy heart because I really love my coach for bringing me out there. And we're still friends. We're still family. But it had to be done, and it looks like I made the right choice, because after my Schwäbisch Hall year, I got an offer from the Green Bay Packers, and that was unreal. Like, it was like, what's happening here? Like, is this for real? One morning I wake up, hey, the Packers are interested. The next day I wake up, mind you, I'm 9 hours ahead of LA time, and I wake up and, hey, the Browns, New York, and the New York Giants, and the Raiders are interested. Like, and so I said, oh, where do I go? Vikings too. And so I ended up getting a shot to go play with the Green Bay Packers, and that was for a rookie minicamp. So I was under contract for not able to talk to any other teams for 2.5 months. It wasn't as long as I hope. I was hoping to be in there for at least 5 years, but that wasn't the plan. So I came back to Schwäbisch Hall. We went for another undefeated run at a championship, and we came up short. I ended up leaving to go to Swarco Raiders in Austria. I got injured. I tore my Achilles, a partial tear. 70% of my Achilles was torn. And I actually rehabbed and came back and actually all my championships came, not including Southern championships, came after my Achilles tear, which is unreal. So I played there and I loved it there. And Coach Shu and Coach Lee, some of the best dudes I've ever met out here in Europe, like one of the best coaches anyway. Like they say what they're gonna do and they do it. And I got a lot of respect for them. So that was like everything for me. Like I came out here and finally got my rings, got my championships. I still have plans to get another ring or two, you know, sign on as a mercenary type player. But yeah, now I'm coaching in Southern Germany for the Tauber Franken Wolfpack. If you guys are looking to learn something for receiver, any other position, DBs, safeties, come to the Wolfpack. We got you. we put up the new Wolfpack.
Ich versuche das Ganze jetzt mal zusammenzubringen, was Pat uns alles so erzählt hat. Nach seiner College-Zeit hat er versucht, an einem Combine teilzunehmen, beziehungsweise er hat an einem Combine teilgenommen, am allerersten Combine und war da auch sogar ziemlich gut, was ihn zu einem Camp in Florida gebracht hat, wo er auch nochmal performt hat, aber leider kein Angebot der NFL bekommen hat, ist dann zurück nach Südoregon gegangen, um seinen Abschluss zu machen, was aber auch nicht so wirklich seins war und er irgendwann gesagt hat, okay, ich muss zurück nach LA oder ich möchte auch zurück nach LA, ich möchte zurück zu meiner Familie und hat dann dort seinen Abschluss nachgeholt. Und hat nebenbei natürlich gearbeitet. Und dann ist eigentlich die gleiche Situation eingetreten, die es schon mal gab. Ein Coach ist auf ihn zugekommen und hat gesagt, eigentlich hast du viel zu viel Talent, um jetzt aufzuhören. Du musst weitermachen, du musst irgendwie Tapes kriegen, du musst gucken, dass du deinen Weg in die NFL schaffst. Und er hat ihm den Tipp gegeben, das Ganze vielleicht mal in Europa zu versuchen. Also hat Pat verschiedene Teams in Europa angeschrieben und gemeldet, haben sich die Lübeck Cougars, für die er auch eine ganze Zeit lang gespielt hat einige Rekorde gebrochen und ist danach entdeckt worden von den Schwäbisch Hall Unicorns und ist dann gewechselt zu den Schwäbisch Hall Unicorns. Bei den Unicorns hat Pat ein Angebot bekommen von mehreren NFL-Teams. Er ist also quasi morgens aufgewacht, wir haben hier diese ganze Zeitverschiebung, ist morgens aufgewacht und hat dann erfahren, ich habe ein Angebot, beziehungsweise kein Angebot, sondern ein Interesse von den Packers, von den Browns, von den Giants und von den Raiders. Und hat dann darüber nachgedacht, wofür soll ich mich entscheiden, was soll ich tun, in welche Richtung soll ich gehen. Und die Packers waren die ihm als erstes geschrieben haben. Also hat er auch gesagt, okay, da gehe ich auch hin. Da will ich hin, war in dem Minicamp von den Packers und ist dort aber nicht weitergekommen, beziehungsweise nicht gedraftet worden ins Team und ist dann zurückgekommen zu den Unicorns, hat nochmal im Championship gespielt und ist dann gewechselt zu den Swarco Riders in Österreich, richtig?
Mhm. Jo.
Und hat da auch in ganz vielen Teams gespielt, beziehungsweise in dem Team gespielt, hat Championships gewonnen und ist mittlerweile ins Coaching gegangen und hat seinen Weg so ein bisschen gewechselt vom Spieler zum Coach und zwar beim Wolfpack. Can you please tell me the town again?
Tauber Franken. So the team is actually in Bad Mergenheim.
Okay. Die Tauberfranken, das
Okay.
Tauberfranken Wolfpack. Ich glaube, man muss es googeln, damit man es findet. Ich habe es bisher noch nicht gehört. aber das ist nicht schlimm. Jeder, der Interesse hat, in der Gegend Receiver oder DB zu spielen, soll sich gerne bei Pat melden. Er wird sie alle gerne ausbilden und coachen.
Alles vieles.
Okay, Pat, thank you so much. You talked a lot of your career steps in the US and here in Germany, and you told us that you had some issues about the planes flying over your head in Lübeck. But back to the things in Germany. What do you think about Germany? About the food, the language, the culture? Tell us everything.
Okay. First, I gotta say, ich liebe Deutschland. Second, like the culture in Germany is very different from the States. As you know, like I feel like one whole person. You know what I mean? I don't feel like 3/5 of a man. Like I am seen as in the States. Um, so that was the biggest difference. You know what I mean? They still obviously see color. You know what I mean? That's not, that's every day. Like walking down the street, go to the bakery, I see 5 heads on the bus, like doing this, and it's fine. It's okay. They're just interested. Like some people walk up to me and I'm like, that from the football game or whatever, and like, oh, you're the first African American my kids ever met, and so that's interesting, and it's like a good thing. That's why I want to be a positive influence or a positive experience for people. But yeah, uh, I actually might be one of the few players that can say like yo, like Northern Germany is lit, you know what I mean? And then Southern Germany is more like old school, like, you see a whole bunch of grannies walking down the street, with their they're going Nordic walking, you see a lot of that stuff. But the food, wow, man, I didn't know Germany ate so much pork. Like they love their schnitzel out here. I do like the French fries out here, the pommes. I like what do you say? Like since I've been vegetarian, like I've been eating my own food. I really don't eat out as much anymore like that, which is kind of crazy. But before I went vegetarian, I used to like schnitzel and pommes with salsa. I used to eat, wow, man, Hackfleisch or alles, bro. I used to eat everything. Like I don't know what I was thinking, like eating all this stuff the way I was eating it. And but yeah, so like I think that's the culture of the food is great. I think that when you're out in Germany, you can really get a taste of everything. They have a lot of Greek restaurants. They have a lot of Italian restaurants. It's a melting pot still. You know what I mean? But just of these countries nearby. So I think that's really cool about Germany. And ich liebe Deutschland. Ich liebe Deutschland und ich bleibe hier für immer.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, thank you so much. Die Frage drehte sich so rund um Deutschland. Ich glaube, den ersten Satz haben alle verstanden. Um das dazu zu sagen, wir mussten das einmal cutten, weil Pat es tatsächlich geschafft hat, die Alexa hier im Raum zu aktivieren. Mit seinem deutschen Satz. So einmal kurz als lustige Side-Story. Das mussten wir wirklich tatsächlich einmal cutten, weil die Alexa dazwischen gequatscht hat. Ja, ansonsten ist Pat sehr, sehr froh, hier in Deutschland zu sein. Er mag die Kultur, er hat gesagt, es ist natürlich immer unterschiedlich, wo man in Deutschland ist. Der Norden ist unterschiedlich zum Süden. Der Süden ist ein bisschen mehr oldschool. Der Norden ist ein bisschen moderner. Er hat gesagt, man merkt das, wenn er so im Bus sitzt und die Blicke ihn so verfolgen. Aber er sagt, das ist eigentlich eine ziemlich coole Sache. Das ist also nichts, was er negativ auffasst, weil er sagte, ganz viele Kinder sind er ist für ganz viele Kinder der erste African American, den sie sehen und mit dem sie so in Kontakt kommen. Und das ist für ihn so ein Hauptpunkt zu sagen, ich möchte hier eigentlich nur Positives verbreiten und ich möchte, dass die Leute mich mögen, und das erfährt er aber auch so. Essenstechnisch ist er mittlerweile Vegetarier geworden, kocht also meistens sein eigenes Essen. Vorher war es aber Schnitzel und Pommes und Soße. Allgemein sagt er aber schon, dass das in Deutschland ziemlich cool ist, dass wir so einen Einfluss von ganz, ganz vielen verschiedenen Kulturen haben und man in Deutschland eigentlich alles Essen ausprobieren kann, weil wir hier eigentlich alles vereinen, weil wir sehr viele griechische, italienische, chinesische, türkische Restaurants haben und man wirklich eigentlich alles bekommt.
Yeah, yeah. So to go back a little bit, like I said, we have played against each other also. We played against each other twice. I know we didn't want to speak about it, but we're 1-1. I remember the game before we played you guys. We were watching film. We were like, I was with my homeboy Ashton, was like, hey, you got to guard him the whole time. You can't let him go anywhere. Because like we were watching film. It's like, who's that guy? oh, that's their new American. I was like, okay, Ashton, that's your guy. Anywhere he goes, you're going with him. And that was the first game we won. Then the next game, you guys came to Bielefeld, and you guys beat us. And but that was a good way for us to get in touch with each other. And like I said, we stayed in contact since that was 2014, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, 7 years. That's almost a long time. But like I said, I've watched your career over the years, and like I said, it's been a pleasure to watch and to grow. So like I said, to our next question, Danny, you can take it.
Ja, das was Phil gerade nochmal erzählt hat, ist die ganze Geschichte zwischen den beiden, also wie die beiden sich kennengelernt haben. Und zwar haben sie zweimal gegeneinander gespielt. Phil ist auf ihn aufmerksam geworden, weil er mit Ashton zusammen, unser Interviewpartner, einen Film geguckt hat und gesehen hat, dass Pat ziemlich gut ist. Und hat Ashton darauf angesetzt und gesagt, in der Defense bist du derjenige, der ihn covern muss. Und zwar die ganze Zeit bleibt an seinem Arsch, egal wohin er geht. Und das war, so haben die beiden sich kennengelernt. Sie haben zweimal gegeneinander gespielt. Einmal hat Pat gewonnen und einmal hat Phil gewonnen. Das war zu der Zeit, als Phil in Bielefeld gespielt hat. Die beiden sind aber in Kontakt geblieben und Phil hat auch so den ganzen Weg verfolgt. Sie kennen sich mittlerweile seit 7 Jahren. Und das ist so das ganze, die ganze Geschichte zwischen den beiden. So,
Nice.
yeah, you talked about your NFL experience real quick and your Schwäbisch Hall experience. So let's get back to your NFL tryout. How was it for you? Can you tell us something about this?
I just got chills thinking about it just now. For real, like the whole experience was just wow, you know what I mean? Because you get there, I got calls from Elliot Wolf, you know what I mean? Like this is big time guys, you know what I mean? The head coach McCarthy, I'm talking to big time guys, and they're saying, how's everything going? I walk into the first practice. You work just walking into the halls. I just walk you through it. We all get off the bus and I'm like, oh, where you from? Georgia. Where you from? Connecticut. Where you from? Man, I just came from Dallas. Dallas, what? He's like, no, I came from the Cowboys. Oh, okay, cool. So I'm like, dang, these some big guys. And so we get off, we go right to the exit. Outside the stadium are people sitting in chairs, like taking pictures because they just want to catch the new rookies. And we walk into the stadium. First thing you say is this big old trophy. Like you see their Lombardi trophy right there. And when I walk in, I saw Aaron Rodgers with Jordy Nelson over there joking around or something about with the package in their hand. I'll never forget about it. Somebody had a package, whatever. They're just joking around the cafeteria. And I'm over here taking videos. And right as I'm taking videos, they say, hey, you can't, everybody knows that you signed a contract that you can't take no videos or pictures in the building. And I don't have that video anymore. But yeah, so you get in, they set you up like, okay, this is where you are, and you're only allowed to wear NFL gear, this gear they give you. I got two pair of pants, 2 pair of shorts, 3 or 4 different dry fits. They give you 3 or 4 hats. They give you socks. They give you everything. You think about everything. You can't even wear your own shoes. Like you got to wear their shoes. They give you 2 pair of shoes. And if you don't like them in the end, you can bring them back, get some different ones, cleats, gloves, everything has to be from them. And Red is the equipment manager. Dope dude, man. He's an awesome guy, man. I was like nervous. He was like, don't worry, man, you'll be fine. So the next day, I'm like up all night, like studying the plays and stuff, everything like that to get it. I'm in my book. I'm not losing this book. It's on my side everywhere I go. I'm going to be the first one to get the blood check and all that stuff and the EKG, all that stuff. I get there early, get it done. I get in the ice bath. They meet and talk to you. at that time I had zero injuries at all. And yeah, so I'm going to fast forward. Our first practice, I get in there, we get off the bus, we walk in, everybody's dressed already. We walk in, just helmets, first day. And the moment you get in, just cameras, just everything. That's all you hear. Like, it's like you hear the camera reload, like it's for real. Like it's insane. And it was like they had this like news section right here where they couldn't pass the rope and they were just going off. So like we had one big old field that was like 1.5 fields, and like there's one guy speaking, making sure that everybody's on time. He's on a headset. Everything's very fast paced. They got trainers everywhere. I lost my contact. I had a trainer. I said, "Hey, can I have a mirror?" He said, "No, I'll put it in for you." Like he put my own contact in for me. I was like, "You sure?" And I never like put it in perfect. He's like, "It's not my first time putting contacts in." And so like I was like, okay. And then the next practice, the same trainer comes up to me, "Hey, did you bring those extra contacts?" I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Here, I'll hold them. Like anything you need, they are there for you. Like this is their job, and they treat it professional." I actually got an opportunity to make one big play for the last play at practice, and they're like, "Okay, Pat, you're up." Like, "Okay, what do you want?" And I was like, and then he's like, "Go for a go." And so I went for a go and literally jumped over this dude's head, like to catch the ball, and it ended up in the newspaper. Like I have the article, it's online, but I had the article from the Green Bay newspaper, like, talking about everybody tried to make their best impressions on the first day, and Pat Donahue did that on his, and blah, blah, blah. And so that was awesome. And the whole experience itself, like, wow, man. So I still get chills. Like I still remember it, you know what I mean? And that's on the positive side. On the bad side, when they say, "Hey, I signed with 19 free agent spots left," they filled those spots. And at the end, they only had one spot left, and only one person was going to get it. So at the end, I didn't get it. And like when they pretty much, they talk to you, like you're sitting there shaking like you're getting expelled. But my foot was just, going a little bit, but it's like, yeah, it gets your heart going like, damn, this is what I wanted. But after that, it's like, okay, cool. If I was ever to get another opportunity, I'd be ready because now I know what it's like. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I get on a plane. I waited 2 weeks and again didn't get any calls. Elliot Wolf told me, "Hey, you should be expecting a call from a team or two." And I was hoping, 2 weeks would be enough. I get on the plane after 2 weeks. I get back to Germany the very next day. I get a call from my agent saying, "Hey, did you leave yet?" And I said, "No, I mean, yes, I left, but I can come back." He's like, "What do you mean you left or you didn't?" I said, "Yeah, I'm gone." He's like, "Dude, the Raiders just called me about you, want to bring you in. They wanted a receiver, punt return, kick return guy." And I said, "No way." And it wasn't even a starting spot. It was like a backup spot, but all I would be doing was catching kicks. It was like, no, but I had my daughter, and everything happens the way it's supposed to happen, because honestly, the hits in the NFL, they could take you out for good. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that I'm here, and here in Germany is where I'm gonna build my generational wealth. So I'm happy about it. It's okay.
Cool. Thank you. Ja, ich versuche das wieder ein bisschen zusammenzufassen. Ich glaube, das, was hängen geblieben ist, ist das große Wow und die Emotionen, die Pat auch jetzt noch dabei wirklich rübergebracht hat, kann man sehr, sehr schwer übersetzen. Für ihn war das wirklich so, diese Anrufe zu kriegen von sehr, sehr, sehr großen Leuten, war erstmal so dieser erste Schritt, wo er gedacht hat, krass, wo bin ich hier? Um dann wirklich rüber zu fliegen, aus dem Bus zu steigen und zu sehen, dass die ganzen Fans da stehen. Er hat bei den Packers die Lombardi Trophy gesehen und hat selber eigentlich angefangen, sein Handy rauszuholen und zu filmen, weil er es so eindrucksvoll fand, wo man ihm gesagt hat, ey, du bist jetzt Spieler, du filmst das hier nicht. Aaron Rodgers als einer der ersten gesehen, die da so ein bisschen Späße gemacht haben und ist dann letztendlich zu dem nächsten Spot gekommen. Er wurde komplett ausgerüstet. Er hat jegliche Art von NFL-Equipment bekommen und hat auch gesagt bekommen, du trägst ab jetzt nur noch das. Und wenn es dir nicht gefallen hat, dann bist du halt zum Equipment Manager gegangen und hast gesagt, ich hätte gern ein anderes Paar Schuhe, aber du trägst das. Und so diese erste Erfahrung, dann fürs erste Training nur mit dem Helm, ohne Full Equipment, aus dem Bus zu kommen, die ganzen Fans zu sehen, da durchzugehen, aufs Feld zu kommen und dieses Meer an Fotografen zu haben, diese Kameras klicken zu hören und wirklich zu wissen, wow, ich bin gerade Teil von dieser riesengroßen NFL-Familie und von diesem riesengroßen Teil der NFL, da bin ich jetzt ein kleiner Teil. Er hat auch in einem Trainingsspiel einen sehr, sehr, sehr guten Catch abgeliefert, um eben damit auch dann in die Zeitung zu kommen. Und die Zeitung hat geschrieben, Pat Donahue hat hier diesen Catch gemacht und hat natürlich gehofft, dass danach seine NFL-Karriere weitergeht. Er war einer von insgesamt 19, die noch gesigned werden konnten und hat es dann leider nicht geschafft. Er ist dann nach Deutschland zurückgeflogen, um weiter für die Schwäbisch Hall Unicorns zu spielen und hat direkt am nächsten Tag, nachdem er abgeflogen ist, einen Anruf von seinem Agenten bekommen, der ihm gesagt hat, hey, die Raiders haben ein Interesse an einem Receiver und einem Returner, bist du noch da? Und er muss halt sagen, nein, ich bin nicht mehr da. Und so hat sich leider diese Möglichkeit für ihn geschlossen, nochmal zu den Raiders zu gehen. Er sagt aber, auch auf der anderen Seite, nichts passiert ohne Grund. Und jetzt hat er seine Tochter, er ist hier, er ist glücklich, er coacht, er hat noch viele Erfahrungen machen können und ist sehr froh, dass es letztendlich so gekommen ist.
So yeah, Pat, like I said, you talked about an injury. How did that come about? Or like I said, football is an injury sport. It's gonna happen to most of us, knock on wood. But it's part of the game basically. And yeah, can you kind of tell us about that situation with you?
Gladly. My whole life, I never had serious injuries. Like I've had a twisted ankle or a banged up knee, but nothing surgery needed. Like nothing needed operation. It was one of those things where I thought, this person. This is a sad reality. Like this is how I felt at the time, because I felt like, okay, this guy wasn't working hard enough in the off season. That's why he got hurt. You know what I mean? Because from my point of view, it was always happening to guys that were missing workouts, guys that were just messing around or drinking all day, like, drinking every night. You know what I mean? That was the guys it was happening to. And when this happened to me, I was like, wow. I was like, it really happened. Like, but the situation where it happened, it shouldn't have happened at all. It was practice 2 of the day, and one player, I already got the best of him, and it was a blocking drill, so I was already done. And he tried to flip me over, like the twist thing, and I went over the top of him, but he led me right into a cone, like a harder cone, like one of those ones it's a stationary cone. It looks like it's like this high, and I stepped on it. So when my foot went down, it normally would be like this, and instead I stepped on the cone, and then I went down like that and tore my Achilles. And I was on my knees for a second, like looking around. Like Coach Shu was like, "Come on, get up, you're all right." I said, "Yeah." So I hopped up, and I stepped with my right leg, and then I stepped with my left leg, and it was like I stepped in a hole, like that was in the ground. And I said, straight down, and I said, I fell down, and one thing I was like, something's not right. And I kept saying, "Oh no, oh no." And somebody repeated it to me, like, bro, like I was worried for you because you just kept saying, "Oh no, oh no." And so I was literally saying, "Oh no." And I was like, "Don't touch me, I'm gonna walk off." And I don't want to be carried off the field. So I walked off. And I was sitting there waiting for the ambulance, and he's like, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine. It doesn't hurt." They're like, "No, this hurts. I've had it happen." I said, "It doesn't hurt." they put me in the ambulance. Next thing you know, I'm there. This is where I got to give the Raiders props. Like within like 3 hours, I was already in the machine getting scanned in the CT machine, and like, and 4 hours later, I was getting operated on by the top five, one of the top 5 doctors in all of Europe and all of the world. In the it couldn't have happened in a better place. Like, I tore my Achilles in a place where they work on Achilles and knees and ankles and everything every day, you know. But it was rough. It was hard. It was a mental trip for me. I just found out I was having a daughter. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like, how am I supposed to support? Like, when this was supposed to be my championship and work on my German and get to real work, you know, like teaching and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, it was one of the toughest mental things I've ever been through in my life. And like, for me though, not like anything else, like I can deal with not having money for gas. I can deal with not having money for food. But this was something like, dude, I can't will my leg to get healthy. I can't do it. Like, it has to happen in time. And I'm a person that is, if I want to get it done now, then I get it done. But anyway, I worked with some great people. Unreal people, man. And it was just wonderful to work with them in Dr. Hose's office. And they were just unreal. I was up there every morning, 6 a.m. Like, when do you want to be there? I said at 6 a.m. Like, I don't sleep anyway. I can't sleep. I'm in a boot. I might as well get the workout in early anyway. And it was one of those things where now I'm glad that I went through it, because I never had an injury. I never had to overcome an injury like that. I had a torn hamstring, easy money. Broke my toe, easy money. Tore my Achilles, that's one of the hardest things to do. I just had to one-up it, right? And so I'm glad I went through it, because a friend of mine went through it like shortly after me, and he was able to come to me about it. His name's Corey, and he was able to come to me about it, like, hey, how did you do this? What'd you do? And I was able to talk him through it. You know, I had 2 other people tear their Achilles, like, you know, and I could be able to tell them, like, hey, this is what you should do. This is what you shouldn't do. That was pretty much it. And my best advice for anybody going through injuries like that is, don't go through it alone, and try to talk to people, even if it's just one person you can talk to. That'll help the healing process, because the healing process is 50% like in your head. Like, if you think you're going to recover, then you're going to recover. But if you're thinking, you know, people were telling me, oh, he's done. I was hearing all types of stuff from people that are supposed to be my teammates. People are supposed to be my friends. Oh, he's done. He's done. And I'm over here getting heated. I'm starting to sweat right now, because it makes me, it still motivates me till this day. People count you out. And even when they brought me back, I passed the back to play process. I passed. Everything was great. I actually jumped even better now, because I dropped weight, you know, to compensate for the Achilles. And they were like, okay, he's back. Some of the players had some things to say, and it got back to me, and it just made me work harder. And some of those things included, why is he back? You can tell he's not 100%. Why is he back? He's not Pat Donahue from 2016 when he was with the Unicorns. Why is he back? Blah, blah, blah. And I actually was thankful that Coach Shu and Coach Lee gave me the chance. And I can say that I left the Swarco Raiders better than I found them. Undefeated with 6 championships. There you go.
Straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm heated, bro. I'm heated right now.
Ja, wir haben gerade noch mal so ein bisschen über Verletzungen gesprochen. Verletzungen gehören natürlich zum American Football leider oft dazu. Gott sei Dank hatte Pat keine Verletzung, die großartig oder lange operiert werden musste. Er hat sich aber wie bei ganz, ganz vielen in einer sehr, sehr blöden Trainingssituation verletzt. Es war nicht in einem Spiel, nicht in einem Championship-Game, wo es um irgendwas ging, sondern die ganze Verletzung ist passiert bei einem normalen Blocking-Drill, der eigentlich zu Ende war, wo sein Mitspieler ihn so ein bisschen über seinen Rücken gelegt hat und er dann auf einen harten Cone getreten ist und ist dann umgeknickt und sein Bein hat sich beim Auftreten angefühlt wie Gummi. Er konnte nicht wirklich auftreten. Für ihn war aber tatsächlich das Härteste dabei, nicht bestimmen zu können, wann er selber mit dieser Verletzung durch ist. Also er hat gesagt, wenn er Sachen gemacht haben möchte, dann macht er sie und dann macht er sie sofort. Und das war für ihn ganz, ganz schwer. Und dass halt viele gesagt haben, ja, er wird nicht so wiederkommen, wie er mal war. Das wird ein anderer Spieler sein. Und so den Tipp, den er gibt, ist, dass jeder, der durch so eine Verletzung durch muss, wirklich mental dafür stark sein muss, der mit anderen Leuten sprechen muss, weil so ein Heilungsprozess natürlich auch immer im Kopf beginnt. Und das ist auch so sein großer Tipp. Sprecht mit den Leuten, lasst euch helfen, geht da nicht alleine durch, sondern macht das gemeinsam. Yeah,
Sure.
we try to come to an end. Maybe you can tell us about your future plans and goals.
Okay. So, as you know, I move in silence, you know what I mean? So, I will tell you what everybody already else knows. So, my plans are to make sure that I finish these German classes. I'm gonna be coaching up here. I'm gonna make coaching. I'm making coaching somewhat of a priority to help build the youth in this area. I'm gonna be starting up something with a good, very, very good friend of mine, and we're gonna start up pretty soon here, coming up with a DB receiver type camp. Where it's going to be like Pat Brat you know what I mean? Pass breakup you know what I mean? PBU. So it's going to be pretty cool, and it's going to be pretty awesome. And working on that. Once COVID is done and over and out the way, I mean, we can still work with youth players up until 20 years old, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, and so I'm going to be coaching in Talbot Franken in Bad Mergenheim, and coaching the Talbot Franken Wolfpack. I also have some other plans, big plans to create generational wealth where I am and for my family. And I'm very excited about that. I can't be more excited. I'm happy with the way that this team here is turning around. I'm really happy with what's happened in Talbot Franken. Working with Ben for KNoah is awesome. Like KNoah gear, man, I'm telling you, that's the best stuff around, and he's a great guy. And the stuff that working with him as an ambassador for his stuff is amazing. So working with him, having connections in Austria, where he has connections in Switzerland and all over Europe is awesome. So that's what I'm pretty much doing. Networking with guys like Gamble, I mean Philip, working with guys like him, and meeting guys, you know, and him and me meeting you as well. And it's just, I'd like to keep this network going because we're all we got. We need to have more people in the world that are willing to help others, and less people in the world that are just take until there's nothing left. So we need people to grow the game and grow the game of life, right? Bring in more good people, more people that are willing to do good things instead of negative things. And I'm all about working with people like that, just like you guys.
Cool.
Well, you got a KNoah shirt on, right?
Oh yeah, you know what I mean? I got that KNoah teamwear. You know what I mean? Get yours. You know, at a city near you. Hit me up. I got you. Yeah.
Ja, um das Ganze einmal zusammenzufassen zu dem, was uns Pat gerade gezeigt hat, komme ich natürlich zum Schluss, weil das eines seiner großen Projekte ist. Er hat sich zum Ziel gesetzt, seine Deutschkurse zu beenden, Deutsch zu lernen. Coaching ist für ihn ein richtig, richtig großer Punkt. Er möchte die Jugend voranbringen. Er hat mit einem Kumpel zusammen ein Camp gegründet für Receiver und für DBs. Und hoffentlich wird Covid das bald zulassen, dass auch die beiden ihre Camps veranstalten können, so wie viele andere natürlich auch. Für ihn ist das eine Herzensangelegenheit, den Football zu verbreiten und die Jugend wirklich auf einen guten Punkt zu bringen, auf einen guten Standpunkt zu bringen. Und er arbeitet mit einem Freund zusammen an einer Klamottenkollektion, an Sportswear, an Teamwear. Er hat es gerade in die Kamera gezeigt, das Ganze heißt KNoah. Wenn ihr euch das mal angucken möchtet, ist das Ganze zu erreichen unter knoah.at. Wenn ihr mal gucken wollt, die Klamotten sind sehr, 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 sehr cool. Yeah, so to come to an end, we have a special ending today because Pat is doing the end. So yeah, Pat, please go on after I translated this.
Okay.
Wir haben heute so ein spezielles Ende vor, weil heute wird Pat das Ganze mal beenden und nicht wir beide. Also sagen wir schon mal danke fürs Zuschauen und tschüss.
Like I said, thank you for seeing us again, Pat. Like I said, we'll keep in contact. And like I said, we got a lot of big things coming and look forward to it. And it's all yours.
Thank you. So Leute, danke, dass alle hier waren und vielen Dank für Ihren Zeit und ich wünsche euch oder Ihnen einen schönen Wochenende und ich wünsche euch zu gesund bleiben. Und danke von all unseren Sponsoren von unten, siehst du hier. Und bitte auf diesen Link klicken für mehr Info. All right.
Cool.
That's
what sehr, sehr schön. Es ist ganz anders.
No.
Es ist ganz anders, weil du hast zwei Amerikaner sprechen Deutsch miteinander. Weißt du, was ich meine?
All right. For real though. From
Thank
the
you so
German.
much.